Right, I want to talk a little bit about the projects that I'm involved in at the moment and the celebration that we're having on the 1st of May on Dunmore Head down in West Kerry. And the project is that we're launching a university on the 1st of May. It's called Udscoil Míle It's a digital knowledge university. A university for the 21st century. It is a global university. And I was talking with a very beautiful lady today, trying to explain in 2 seconds what this university is all about, or what this project is all about. I didn't really have an opportunity to say much. And 30 years ago this year, I left the University College Cork because I felt that there was something lacking in our educational system, not just here in Ireland, not just in Europe, but all over the world. And what I feel is lacking is an ability to do basic arithmetic, an ability to do basic mathematics. Children spend, or young people spend up to 14 years in school studying mathematics, applied mathematics, physics and chemistry. And yet they leave school without the ability to perform simple calculations, either written on their hands or even using computers. They're still not able to do it. And it has gotten worse and worse and worse. So between this, that and the other, I did a lot of research, a lot of development, worked with people, worked on my own a lot of the time. And I came up with a very simple technique. It's called Language Core Programming, and this is where we develop the ability to teach languages and computation in an integrated fashion, using the basics of language and the basics of arithmetic. But we use a slightly different form of arithmetic because none of us wants to go back doing long multiplication and long division and all of this. So what I do is I integrate 3 great strands of knowledge. The strand of knowledge known as Vedic mathematics from India, the strand of knowledge known as modern mathematics or modern computation from globally around the world, and a hitherto unknown resource, the Irish language in its abstraction, flexibility, tabiat, words like that, has a great ability to compute. It is one of the most natural computational languages in the world at this present moment in time. And we combine those 3 together into one technique called Language Core Programming. And we are now operating somewhere between 25 and 30 languages to do the basics, to get the initial part of this project on to get it established. Táimid chun é a ódú. We're going to ground it in the Irish language. We're going to ground it in the Gaeltacht. We're going to ground it on top of Dunmore Head, way down in West Kerry. And it was here that I lit a fire in 2009 on midwinter's morning, just after sunrise. And the intention of that fire is still burning within me and within everyone because everyone wants to remove ignorance from our educational system globally. And we have the technology. In this country, we have an extraordinary resource in our language, and we're not using it. So that's as much as I'm going to say. I just want to see how much time I have. Oh yeah. That's as much as I'm going to say. Now, hold on, and I'll give a poem or two, and then I'll knock this off for a minute. Right, here we are again. And this poem is called, since we're talking about language, this poem is called The First Taste of Language. And it was written in Cork, but at the time of the writing, I was actually standing in the car park above Coominall Beach looking at the beach. And when we look at that, Dunmore Head is just to the right. So I'll recite this. It's called The First Taste of Language. The first taste of language. The stones have absorbed the truth. They echo the ancestry of language and living, keeping alive in memory of words, history uttering from every cranny. Small birds know this well, they nest in history, always but never leaving their mark with a chance remark, which inspires the stones to speak to the soul of a passer-by, who happens to record the beauty of the morning lark, this silent history of heaven's glories, passed in stories from stone to tone, records maintained in well-kept fields, tended by walls of inspiration. Looking into a sea so clear, waves thundering their crystals of light, so bright to make the heart thirst for immersion, cold always at this time of year, but inviting heaven to take hold, unfold its supreme self in this old stone landscape, where knowledge echoes the progeny of walls built in silent contemplation. You sit there beyond the brief expanse, brooding, your stillness beckoning to my silence. Sinni, gur maithagad agus slán.